Hi, my name is Amy Coha. I'm a clinical associate professor at UNE School of Social Work. I'm one of the field faculty here. And what I love about my position is working with students around their goals in becoming a social worker. And field education is a major part of every student's curriculum, every student's work in the school. And what's exciting is having students work in a variety of agencies with different populations, learning various roles of social work as part of their professional education. Some of the work that occurs in terms of the interface between what students are learning in the classroom and what students are learning in field, and then what you'll also be learning in seminar. Those three areas are very tightly integrated. So for example, you're learning the knowledge piece or the practice knowledge in your practice courses. Then the action piece is applying that knowledge in your field experience. And then the reflection piece is what happens in seminar. So knowledge, action, and reflection are intricately tied to the work you're going to be doing when you're in your field placement and when you're taking the seminar course. So what's very exciting about that is that the seminar then becomes a vehicle for you to get feedback from your colleagues in the seminar course and your instructor, to identify both challenges as well as successes that you've had in your field placements, to learn from each other about other agencies and other populations that your classmates, your colleagues are working with as well. That's an important part of your learning as well in terms of integrating not only your own knowledge of the agency you're doing your field placement in and the population you're working with, but also learning about your colleagues' experiences. What's exciting about social work is that the knowledge base and the skill base is very transferable to different populations. So that's some of the exciting part of the work that you're going to be doing. We work very closely with our field instructors who are social workers in agencies who provide field instruction for you. That's very exciting because we're constantly coming in contact with and providing online seminars for field instructors where they learn about our program, our mission, vision, and niche, and are part of our adjunct faculty that work with students in agencies. For me, being a field educator is an important component of the work I do and something that I'm very passionate about in terms of working with students, looking at ethical dilemmas that occur in field, looking at some of the challenges that come up, and being part of that learning process and that learning environment. The other part that I very much value and am passionate about is that being able to teach in the school and being able to develop a domestic violence course, which is an area that I'm very passionate about and has been a major focus of my practice and clinical career. And I come from 15 years working in domestic violence in Michigan, where I was associate director of a domestic violence program that went from a small program of 6 staff to a program of 25 staff, which included a variety of services, way beyond just a shelter, a crisis line, criminal justice on-call teams responding to survivors after an arrest was made, a non-residential counseling and support group program, doing a lot of criminal justice activity around the issue of working with police, judges, prosecuting attorneys, legal advocacy or criminal justice advocacy, changing and working on new legislation and changing legislation to better provide for the safety for survivors and their children. So that's been a major focus of my practice in the community. So in that venue, working very closely as part of a coordinated community response in addressing the issue of domestic violence, working with mental health practitioners, working with police, courts, judges. So that's been a major part, doing court advocacy and also providing some expert witness testimony as well on the issue of domestic violence. And for me, as a social worker, that again is a continuum of both doing individual counseling with survivors on one end of the spectrum and doing program development as well as doing macro work or organizational change work. So for me as a social worker, that's been kind of a major reason why I was drawn to the profession, because it allows me to move back and forth along that continuum of individual work and organizational change work, which has been a major area of interest for me. And that's part of what I teach as well on the campus-based program. So in terms of overall my experiences in the practice world, certainly it has been a major focus has been domestic violence and sexual assault, criminal justice work, mental health work. I've also worked with individuals with major mental illness, as well as developed some programs in the domestic violence area for working with survivors who also had challenges around addictions. So there are kind of some very broad-based areas that I'm very interested in, and continue to work on identifying other areas of domestic violence that I might be involved with. And just recently I'm in the process with a colleague from the domestic violence community here, working on finishing up research for survivors' experiences in counseling, which is also an interest of mine. So that what I'm passionate about in terms of my domestic violence work is something that I also incorporate in my teaching, as well as in discussions in seminar as those issues come up. So for me, my position both at the School of Social Work is also enhanced by being part of a field education faculty where there are 4 of us who collaborate and work very closely together to make sure that our seminar classes, our field instructor seminars, really provide the best possible opportunities for students to kind of move through that continuum of knowledge, action in terms of their field placement experience and reflection as part of their ongoing learning process. So I welcome you all to the field placement part of your experience, and I hope it will be a very challenging and exciting opportunity for you.